Hello everyone, another message off of Facebook. This one seems a little bit longer. So here we go. Hello, my name is, I'm going to leave it out. I recently had the realization that I'm not fucking crazy, that my mom is narcissistic. I saw your video on no contact, and before I even knew about my mom's problem, I had decided to cut everyone off. My situation is as fucked up as they come. I'm 34 again, and I have been with my mom basically all my life. I have two children and I'm a single mom. My mom has complete control of my life. She controls every penny I receive and acts as if she does everything when she's real lazy and gives a fuck more about her high society gym pals for social media purposes than me and my kids. And that's the way it always is, especially if your parents have money. They care more about their pals and their parties and what everyone else thinks, and they treat you and your kids like shit. My dad is a hardcore enabler to her. I used to feel sorry for him all the time, and now I hate them all. The first week of September, I mentioned moving out, and shit immediately hit the fan. I came home one day, and my parents sat me down and said I had stolen tons of items belonging to them. I laughed thinking it was a joke, and then followed with, I must be on drugs, and asked to take a home test for them. I told them both, are you fucking serious? I give you every fucking penny I have my entire life, and it was all part of some master plan to steal. And I was told that my mom's clothes were missing. LOL. I was so mad I cried and told them, fuck you, I'm not taking a test. For what? This is bullshit. I told them both, fuck you guys. At that point, shit got crazy. It's when you stand up to them. And my mother did something similar to me when I was 19, tried to accuse me of stealing money, and they were going to throw me out unless I admitted to it. And I was forced to admit to something I never did. My brother was the one who stole the money. Yet, I'm the one who got blamed for it. And these narcissistic parents, they love to try to control you through money. Throughout your whole life, all they want to do is get their hands on your money, because if they control your money, they control your life. And when you're living with them, they can really control your life. Now you're under their roof, they're controlling your money. Where do you go now when they pull this bullshit? And you're absolutely right. For who the hell are they to demand a home drug test for a 34-year-old woman? Kiss my ass. My dad, aka Enabler Hatchet Man, came at me and said, I know you did it and you fucking need to help and you fucking need help, but if you take this test, you can prove us wrong. I laughed and said, it starts with a test, and then it's, I need a statement and your blood and your firstborn. I told him I was walking away from the bullshit as my children didn't need to hear the drama between us. I walked out and said I'll be back in 30 minutes. Well, worst mistake of my life, pissing them off, and yet the best decision. My dad called me and said not to return home, that he was after me as I threatened my mother. And he told me, in fact, came back for the kids, he would press burglary charges on me and plant drugs in my car to ensure I lost my kids. They always. See, that's when they're not getting their way, they can break laws. They can, and it's the threats, I'm going to kick you out. It's another narcissistic playbook here. At first, I was so dumbfounded by all this. Then he said, unless you sign us guardianship, that at that moment it clicked. It wasn't about clothes being taken. It was fear of losing the monthly checks that my stupid ass has always handed over. I refused to sign, and unfortunately, for that entire month, I was homeless. My kids were with them, but it was only because it gave them a roof. But essentially, I know it was the last straw. They desperately needed to hang onto in order to hold me. I'm sickened that my dad has cost me my job by calling my boss and saying I'm on drugs and violent, as well as the parents of my fiance, whom he had never met. You could actually, that's defamation of character. You could sue him for that. You can absolutely sue him for that, because that is a monetary loss based on a lie. That is defamation of character. You can absolutely sue your father for that. He came at me from every angle and has everyone saying they will help him. And why? Because my mom can't handle the stress and cries for me every night. Yet when I message her, calling her on her bullshit for the first time in my life, she ignored me. I told her to quit fucking crying. You know damn well you aren't crying for me. It's for the money. And again, this made shit worse as everyone says I upset her. Because she goes around thinking she's, acting like she's the greatest woman in the world and you're making this woman cry. Those are crocodile tears. I guarantee you it's the driest cry you've ever seen in your life. I tried to tell my grandmother and showed her my dad's unreasonable rage towards me, and yet she would say, well, it's hard for your mom. She's raising kids. And I got more mad. Well, let me tell you something about your grandmother. And that was another mistake you made, because there's no way your grandmother doesn't know this behavior from your father. This just didn't come out of nowhere. She's not going to help you. Anybody who's knowingly dealing with your parents at that point isn't going to help you because they've been putting up with the bullshit for years. Why? Because it seems like they got money. I'm typically not an angry person at all, but because of the relationship of my codependency my parents have for one another, I have not seen my kids in a month. However, I'm a fighter when it comes to my kids, so I waited patiently for payday as I knew she would need me to cash the check. Surely enough, Grandma calls. Oh, hi. How's my baby doing? Hey, your mom brought your check and says she needs food for the kids. So can you cash it for her? It's always about the money, isn't it? I laughed and said, well, tell the bitch to call me and tell me herself and let me talk to my kids. Then I'll fucking cash it. This made everyone crazy. My grandma cried saying, baby, you have to be on drugs if you don't care about your kids. Think about your dead grandpa. He wouldn't want you like this. Oh, they love throwing up dead relatives. They love throwing up dead relatives too. I laughed and said, really, you want to use him? Well, he's dead, so he can't tell me shit. Now, mind you, I have never ever had an outburst like this with anyone. However, being threatened and forced to live in the street is a fucking reality check. Furthermore, all of them has said if I sign over custody for my parents and their lawyer, I can see my kids. Who the fuck are they? Who the fuck are they? My grandma kept crying and asked again for me to cash the check and sign the papers. If I love my kids, I would do it. Really? So it's all about the money. So like your shitty paycheck is life or death. It's not about the kids. If it was really about you being on drugs, they wouldn't be asking you for money. What awful people. I told her, okay, Grandma, I'll do it for you because clearly you're on my side, right? She got happy and said yes, and she was on her way. I told her to meet me at the Del Taco. I had the cashier, I handed the cashier a piece of paper and told her a woman named Andrew would pick it up. A few minutes passed and I was already gone and the phone rings. Of course, Grandma. Of course, Grandma. I told her that I had to leave, but the paper was inside for my mom. She asked about the check, but I hung up. Upon hanging up, I called my cell phone provider and changed my number, as I knew at that point no one could be trusted. Even the ones who love you most are actually especially the ones who'll screw you the most. Now, I'm sure you're curious about the paper and if I signed. The paper read, Aisha will never forgive you for kidnapping my children and for unlawfully evicting me, as well as the threats associated with defamation of character, with malicious acts of intending to instill emotional trauma and stress on me by not allowing me to take my kids, which is illegal, as I'm sure you know. But no matter what, I will never give you guardianship because you are sick, and I hope you lose your brand new BMW because we both know you don't work. And guess what? I'm not paying for your shit anymore. You ignore me and don't care if I'm hungry. So for once, I'm going to do the thing you always said I should do. All my life, you said I should be more like you. Well, wish fucking granted. You will never get shit from me again. And I have reported that check stolen, so I wouldn't cash it if I were you. Have a good life. I'm sure you're super busy with my kids. I promise I'll be there sooner than you think, okay? I seen your videos and I know they gave me the support I needed to really pursue pressing charges on my parents. I consulted with an attorney, but I can in no way obtain him. But I am studying law, so I have been pointed in the right direction. I've never fought for myself, and with my family being as sick as she is, I cut them all off and cried. I cried tears of joy that I was born again, and I cried for not having my family die in my mind. But if they loved me, they would have helped me and said, hey, why are you homeless? Come with us. Their focus wouldn't be on, oh, your poor mom has to cook dinner. Fuck them, it's going to be a hard fight, but luckily my dad's rage to fight for my mom is so clouded. He has made many mistakes, and I have saved everything from day one to prove my case. It's taking a while, but for once I won't roll over and play dead. I had lots of conflicting feelings like, oh, how can I hurt my mom and grandma, who I love so much? I answered myself with, do I really feel half as bad for me as I do them, and is this the life I want for my kids? From that point, I knew they were literally dead to me. I am filling out paperwork Monday, and I have not spoken with anyone about it other than an attorney and consultation. I have started the process of changing my name and leaving town with kids. I know she will do all she can to guilt, manipulate, and hook me back into her life. She's already reaching, and this time I can watch her fall as she's kicked me all my life to ensure she will never fall. I am staying strong and miss my kids greatly, but I'm being patient knowing that we will live a normal life. Well, I can't say that because I don't know what normal is, but I do not I hope the abuse stops here. And again, thanks to you and the people like you who finally had the courage to do what we all secretly want to do. Expose the abuse and give awareness that sometimes abuse is not seen or heard by others. It comes in the most silent forms, and the people who are used are the ones no one would believe could be in that situation. The kid's dad filed to take the kids as well in a statement, has messages between himself and dad, the enabler, sidekick, narcissistic asshole. However, as you will see, he contradicts this and says he wants to make sure I look like I'm on drugs and crazy and unstable. He says I haven't gone home, yet he's threatened me. He said he wouldn't hurt me if I did and planned drugs on me, etc. But he's telling others, of course, I abandoned the kids. Where would your father even get drugs, by the way? What drugs is he gonna plant on you? So you gotta understand some of their grandiose threats. You gotta question like, where is he getting drugs at this time to plant in my car? You should have just went back and you should have went back with the cops, took the kid. If you have mail going to that house, they can't just evict you. So I'm removing my children. There are no drugs. He's threatening the poor. Usually you tell them that on the phone. My father's threatening to plant drugs in my car. I have no drugs. I'm not on drugs. I don't even know where he would get drugs for. I need a civil standby because I'm removing my children from the house. That's what you should have done. And you know, what happens is we fall for their grandiose threats because we think they're more powerful than they are. But if they were so powerful, why are they chasing you down for a stupid paycheck? Seriously, their threats are just grandiose nonsense. They're grandiose nonsense. Where would your father even get drugs and that short notice to be able to plant in your car. Furthermore, if they did find drugs in your car, I would say, those aren't mine. I never touched it. And I want you to dust that bag or whatever it is in the car for fingerprints, because you're not going to find my fingerprints on it. You're going to find his. Period. Bottom line. You have to stop, and you can't fall for the narcissist's grandiose threats. You can't. You can't. If your children go to school, you're the mother. If you have no restrictions on you, go sign them out of school and take them. They're your kids. They didn't file for any type of guardianship. Okay, this is a rough situation. Say you want your kids. I'm taking them out of this school. I'm picking them up. I'm the legal guardian. Unless there's some kind of restraining order on you or something, I don't understand why you can't just go get your kids. Your parents have no legal authority to them. Furthermore, if you have mail to your parents' address, they can't just kick you out of the house without an eviction notice. In the state I know you live in, it takes months and months and months to legally evict somebody. Months and months and months. If you have a paycheck, if you have mail going to that house, you are a resident of that house, whether you've paid rent or not. Whether you've paid rent or not. So as long as, if they could call and they could say, oh, she's making threats, as long as you're calm with the police and say they're just trying to get custody of my children, okay, I want them to leave me alone. This is my legal residence. That's it. Okay, if I leave, I'm leaving with my children. They're my children. That's it. You're afraid of your parents' grandiose threats, and that's all they are, is threats. And they're using their flying monkeys. They're using your grandmother, who you should never, ever speak to again, because she's just as complicit in all this as everyone else. Okay, and cut them all out as soon and quickly as possible. But you are not as helpless as you think you are. You know, the lawyer you went to is looking for money. He's looking for a retainer. He's looking to do what he wants to do. It's not even that necessary. You have a legal address. It's that address. You have a legal right to your kid. Go sign him out of school. Go sign him out of school. Or call the cops and say, my parents are basically kidnapping my child. They threw me out of this house illegally, and they would have probably make them let you back into the house and then remove the children. I don't know if you've tried all that, but you have to at least try all that. At least you'll get the police report. Okay, they're your kids. They have no legal right to them. You haven't signed over guardianship of them. They haven't been restricted or you haven't been deemed incompetent. This is unnecessary. You're afraid of your parents' grandiose bullshit threats. So I hope this helps. Thank you for the message. I really appreciate it. I know a lot of you have dealt with similar situations, so any comments you could give this lady to help her would be appreciated. Again, if you enjoy this channel, please consider donating to the GoFundMe link in the description box. And remember, if you do make a contribution and you want a story read, your story goes right to the top of the list, and I'll immediately make you a video. This is Ollie Matthews. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all again very shortly.